Welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. Legal, lawful, constitutional, heck, even biblical currency. Talking about gold and silver, wealth insurance, and the world has gone absolutely nuts in the last, really, not in the last 24 hours, about the last 4 hours, the world has gone absolutely nuts. I'll keep you up to date. I'm going to talk all about it. The website at allamericangold.com. Make sure you make it part of your daily routine. Several great video about the debt out there. By the way, that debt video, I just want to let you know that they're talking about, hey, 10 years from now, the debt's going to be $34 trillion, and we're going to pay $1 trillion worth of interest no matter where interest rates are at. A year ago, it was going to be $30 trillion. Now it's 34. So just so you know, by next year, they're going to say it's going to be 38. By the following year, 45. You get what I'm saying. Another one talking about the billionaires piling into gold. Get out there, check them out. I'm not going to talk about those here on the show today. We had too many other things happening. We've got our central bank meeting. Today's day one. We'll have the announcement tomorrow. It's all about one word, patience. Are they going to have a little patience? Are they going to get rid of patience? Are they going to shock the world and cut rates tomorrow? We'll all have to wait and see. But before they could, the European Central Bank, see, they had their meeting earlier. And Mario Draghi, he's the Jay Powell of Europe. He dropped the bomb today, stealing the Fed's thunder, letting the whole world know Europe is going to be cutting rates. Europe is going negative. German bond yields now negative, 0.3 negative. Japanese bond yields negative. French bond yields just went negative. Spanish bond yields only at 0.4. Get ready. Buckle it up. Gold has been on an incredible journey this morning. It's been up as much as $15. It's been zero. And all the way back again. Right now, gold's up $8, $13.46 and change. Silver back above $15 to the ounce. We're right at $15 to the ounce. Gold, or the Dow's up 300 because the president tweeted out they're going to have a meeting at the G20. China and the United States, Trump and Xi are going to meet at the G20. Wall Street needs to believe. I will tell you that this is the biggest piece of this that I could tell. Who called who? Did we call them? Or did they call us? Apparently, we were the ones doing the calling. So Trump reached out. China has agreed to have the conversation. But again, I know that they are not willing to go back to what we agreed to the last time. So we'll see. But that was good news. That was enough to get Wall Street to rally. The 10-year note in the U.S. bond yields, 10-year note got all the way down to 202 this morning as news. Like I said, the big news of the day, the ECB stealing the Federal Reserve's thunder, saying they're getting ready to lower rates, and the president immediately started firing off, talking about Europe being a currency manipulator, right? Because obviously, hey, if we're lowering, but they're lowering, right, we're not going to get the weakest dollar possible. So we'll talk all about that. I'll get you all up to speed about what Trump had to say about what Mario Draghi said was going on in Europe. We'll talk about trade. We'll talk about bond yields. And most importantly, we're going to be talking about gold and silver. Where are they headed? And quite possibly, and it's hard to believe, but maybe the best gold deal this year is going to be today. We'll talk about that when it happens. We're putting it together. We're actually putting together a gold and a silver deal. Be ready, because these are going to be something that we don't do a lot of, almost ever. Something that hasn't happened very often that's going on today. And it's going to be a great opportunity to get involved in the gold and silver market. So let me give you the phone number. 800-951-0592. I'm giving you the number now. If you're a new customer, it's going to be very simple. You call that number and you just tell Wendy, I want the special. Now, today, Wendy's going to ask you 2 questions instead of 1. Which special would you like? And you can say the gold special, the silver special, or both. And then how many would you like? I mean, that's our big sales pitch. That's all there is. That's all there is. We don't play games here. Get your dialing fingers ready. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. And again, I was talking about if you're new, we have a policy here. It's really, really simple. You call up and you just say, I want the special. And that's all you say. Want the special. And we ask you the tough question, how many would you like? And I want 1, 5, 10, 100, whatever the number is. And then we're going to give you a total, and then we're going to ask you another tough question. How are you going to pay for it? Right? I mean, stuff like that. Well, I'm going to send you a check, or I'm going to bring a cashier's check, or I'm paying cash. I want to put it on my credit card. There is a credit card fee involved on that stuff. But you tell us how you pay for it, and then we're either going to ship it to you, or you're going to come and get it. I mean, that's it. Then what happens? Nothing. Right? Why do I do it? Right? Nothing happens. We don't call you ever again. We don't call our clients. That's not what we do. It costs money, right? We don't have a boiler room thing. We don't run bait and switch. We don't do any of that stuff. So before we get into the show here, right now gold's up 8, 1347 in change. Silver is up 17, 18 cents, right at $15 to the ounce. We've got 2 items today. One of them, I physically have the product in Colorado. They're in the process of being shipped to Phoenix as well. So Colorado, on the gold item, Colorado people, these are in stock. Phoenix people, they're in the mail. So they'll be here. Today's Tuesday. It's the post office, so let's just say Monday or Tuesday they'll be here. The silver item. This is going to be a very specific item. These are at the Delaware Depository. They have not left Delaware yet. So you're probably looking at 2 weeks. Good 2 weeks. Hopefully not longer than that, maybe 3. Again, I don't control it, but the deal is going to be so good it'll be worth it. How's that? I'll leave it at that. Starting on the gold side. This is an item that in my I don't know, 16 years. How many times did you say we've run this on special, Wendy? I mean, in 16 years, right? Wendy says maybe 4 or 5 times. I don't even know if it's been that many. Because, when we talk about gold, there's the three factors, right? Number one, cost. Cost is always number one. I want you to be able to buy it, and I want you to be able to buy it as close to spot as possible. That's the number one. Number two, you want to be able to sell it, trade it, whatever you want. Buy it, sell it, trade it, not give out your Social Security number. Last but not least is, hey, if the government confiscates it, maybe you can keep it. This item has 2 out of 3 of those qualities. Right? I'm going to have it cheap. And cheap's the wrong word. I'm going to have it close to spot. And you can buy it, sell it, trade it, and not worry about a 1099. If gold gets confiscated, yeah, they're going to get it. That's just what it is. But these are 1 ounce American Gold Eagles. 1 ounce American Gold Eagles. Right now, our regular price. So let me give you an example. Today, normally, these would be $1,485. Okay, spots $1,350. So you can do the math there. A ungraded 20 would be at $1,470. So you're like, okay, buy the 20s, they're less. And, of course, a lot of times we put the 20s on sale, right? So they're, $40, $50, $60, $70 less. Today, I've got a lot. I've got over 200, you heard me right, Gold Eagles. All of them right now are in Colorado. They're not $1,485. You're going to save $50. They're $1,435 if you buy 10 or more. $1,425. You're talking about a Gold Eagle from, $75 to $85 over spot. I mean, it's just an incredible opportunity. It's the only reason why I'm doing it, because you know me, right? Cost is key. And when you can go out there and save $35 to $45 an ounce, you do it, right? Because it's $35 to $45 less than a 20. A Gold Eagle that close to spot. I mean, when I think about normal Gold Eagle cost, right? And you're talking about a cost that, let's just see here. Give me a second. I know it's radio, so you can't even see what it is that I'm doing. I mean, you're looking at a cost that's around $45 over spot, my cost, give or take. And so you're like, okay, so I can buy it for, $30 to $40 over cost. That is a great way to go at 800-951-0592. So that's item number 1. 1 ounce American Gold Eagles. So these are the new ones, 1866 to 1907. And I'm going to tell you right now, even if they confiscate gold, what did I say? 87 to, did I say the old one? 1986 to the present. Sorry, 86 to the, so used to doing it. These are the new ones, 86 to the present. 1435, 10 or more, 1425. And I wouldn't push it this hard if this is a great opportunity. It's not my favorite gold coin, but you know what? Price is price, and this thing is priced right. Take advantage of it. Silver. I'm going to say this right now before I even pitch the item. You cannot call me. And what I mean by that is don't call me asking where it is. Okay? It's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before it gets here. But it's such a great opportunity because I've got a feeling that we're going to be looking at a much higher gold and much higher silver price in 2 to 3 weeks because I think the Federal Reserve is going to, number one, I think there's an outside chance tomorrow we could get a surprise. It's an outside chance. I'm going to tell you why after the break. Barron's breaking an article just broke about 30 minutes ago talking about Donald Trump and Jay Powell. So hold on for that. But it's going to be here. I've got 50 rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. These are 2001. Okay, they're all 2001. I haven't seen them. They've been sitting in the vault. First, it was this thing has been to 2 vaults. This was a product that was originally at HSBC Bank. Remember, before the IRA, gold and silver IRAs used to be stored there. Then HSBC Bank kicked out all the IRAs, all the precious metals IRAs. Do you know why? Because they're like, well, why do we want to manage, 10,000, 100,000 people's gold? This billionaire over here says he'll rent out the whole thing, the whole vault, stack his gold in there instead. That's what happened. HSBC Bank used to be where all the IRA gold was stored. They got so many of the billionaires out there wanting to store their gold there, they just said, it's easier. I'm just bill one guy instead of 100,000 guys. Everybody get out. This silver got moved to the Delaware Depository where it has resided ever since. Don't know what they look like. I haven't seen them, but listen, they've been sitting in a vault for almost 2 decades. Right now, rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles are $375. Okay, those are, 2019 Silver Eagles, whatever Silver Eagle year I have, $375. I have 50 rolls of these 2001s. Haven't seen them. 2 to 3 weeks to get here, but here's what makes it so appealing. They're not $375. They're not $370. No, they're not even $360. $355 a roll. And I've got 50 rolls of them. That's $1 an ounce less. You don't ever get $1 an ounce less. So maybe you get a quarter every once in a while. Maybe a great price, 50 cents, but never $1 off. So we've got 2 items. The 1 ounce American Gold Eagle, $14.35, 10 or more, $14.25. By the way, gold's up now $9.50. Hey, right? And then the U.S. Silver Eagle, $3.55 a roll. There's 20 in a roll. We've got one phone line open, 20 in a roll. But remember on the silver, you can't call me. Don't ask me where it is next week. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks just to get to me. Here's the thing, though. I think we're going to get a very, very, very dovish Fed statement tomorrow. I think we're going to see new highs in gold and new, at least recent highs in silver as well. I got a feeling silver now, 15 and a quarter. I think that number is going to fall, and we're going to get a quick pop here. So by the time you get these, who knows? Silver can be $17 by the time you even get here. 800-951-0592. Wait online. We will get to you in the order that you call. Okay, right now, just freed up another line. So I've got 2 lines open. Remember when you call, just tell us I want the special. We'll ask you which one. I want the gold special, or I want the silver special, or I'd like some of both. And then we'll get to you as quickly as we can. So 800-951-0592. Back to one line open here. 1 ounce American Gold Eagles, 1 through 9. You're saving $50 an ounce at $14.35. Buy 10 or more, $14.25. By far the closest to spot I have sold a Gold Eagle in 10, 15 years. Or rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles at $3.55. 800-951-0592. When we get back, I'll tell you what Barron said Trump is trying to do.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative pro-family perspective since 1983 and continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Judicial supremacy is something every American should be concerned about. Now, you may have noticed that liberals suddenly became much more concerned about overzealous judges whenever President Trump put 2 constitutionalists on the U.S. Supreme Court. A funny coincidence, isn't it? However, the Supreme Court is a double-edged sword that conservatives should not get used to wielding. One bad election cycle could take us right back to a court that consistently ignores the Constitution for political ends. Still, if you think a Supreme Court that contorts the Constitution is bad, just wait and see what happens if the Equal Rights Amendment is ratified. That's exactly what some old-school radical feminists and Twitter social justice warriors are trying to do. ERA would let liberal judges strike down any law or government program particularly benefiting women. Under ERA, it would become unconstitutional to make any reasonable, fact-based distinction between the sexes. For example, women's shelters would no longer be permissible under ERA any more than a shelter could be segregated by race. Homeless men would have a constitutional right to stay in women's shelters. The court rightly held that separate but equal is not really equal, and ERA would make the very same standard apply to sex. Young men could demand a right to play in women's sports, especially those in public colleges and high schools. If girls' swimming, basketball, field hockey, and other sports are open to boys, it would ruin the fair opportunity for girls to compete in athletics. It might sound ridiculous, and that's because it is. Taxpayer-funded abortion, by the way, a litmus test for radical feminists, fell just 1 vote short of becoming a constitutional right in a 1980 decision of the Supreme Court. Under ERA, federal courts would impose taxpayer-funded abortion nationwide. This is not some worst-case scenario. It's a very real future for our nation if the Equal Rights Amendment passes. ERA is a Pandora's box. America refused to open it in the 70s, and we cannot afford to open it now. Don't fall for the Twitterized bumper stickers and slogans about equality. The best thing we can do for American women is to stand up against the Equal Rights Amendment.
Thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report. You'll be glad to know the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly continues, upheld by Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Chairman Helen Marie Taylor, Treasurer John Schlafly, a full staff in St. Louis and our nation's capital, and thousands of citizen volunteers, her Eagles, across the country. You can be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. That's phyllisschlafly.com.
800-951-0592. Wendy's clearing up those lines. Got 3 lines open. Just a quick update. Already 30 of the 50 rolls of silver gone. We still got about 200. We had 254 was the exact number. We had 254 1-ounce gold Eagles. Right now we have 114 114 of those. Listen, and I know I don't do Gold Eagles hardly ever because, the 20s are cheaper. It's not the case today. Significant savings, 800-951-0592, 1 ounce American Gold Eagles, $14.35. By 10 or more, $14.25. The remaining rolls of silver, and silver's going to be a couple weeks. Now remember, the Gold Eagles, they're in Colorado already. You don't have to wait. You go get them if you want them. Boom. Phoenix, they're on their way here. My allotment's on its way here. On the silver side, it's going to be 2 weeks, probably 2 to 3 weeks. But they're getting ready. Allegedly, someone's got to go in the vault and dig out the 2001s and ship them to us. Those are you're saving $1 an ounce on U.S. minted silver Eagles. I mean, you're talking about less than $2.75 over spot. I mean, that's just I can't tell you how many times my cost is over that amount. Right now you're thinking about at $2.75, you're probably paying about 30 cents over cost. So 800-951-0592. This broke about a half hour ago. Barron's came out with a report that said the White House was exploring the legalities of demoting Fed Chair Jay Powell. So remember, there was talk, 3, 4, 5 months ago about Trump wanting to fire Powell. Right? Because let's face it, right? We had Janet Yellen. Trump didn't like her, did a bunch of the interviews, thought Powell was going to be his guy. The president wants the dollar down, and he wants it down big. He wants interest rates down big. Matter of fact, he wants it down. He wants essentially he thinks the Fed has raised 6 times too many. I mean, would that put 1%? Now the White House has acknowledged now, apparently after Barron's broke this story, the White House explored the legalities of demoting Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell in February, according to Bloomberg. So first you had Barron saying, hey, we've got news that the White House is trying to figure out a way of getting rid of Jay Powell. Right? They can't fire him. They tried that. That wasn't going to work. Now they're trying to demote him. Listen, if this doesn't tell you about where gold's going, nothing will. Understand what it is the president is telling you. He's telling you to buy gold. One way or the other. I'm going to bully this guy into doing what I want. Listen, there's no accident that this stuff came out today. He wants Jay Powell tomorrow to do his job. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, the president's right. We can't have a dollar like this. We can't. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Citing people familiar with the matter, the report said that the White House General Counsel Office weighted the legality of stripping Powell of his chairmanship at the central bank. In other words, hey, we're not firing you, right? Hey, we're not firing him. Hey, we're just going to demote him to Fed governor, right? We'll stick him in Cleveland, right? Well, Richmond, right? Something like that. Not even a good one. We'll just stick him somewhere. They said that the review came after President Trump had spoke about firing Powell previously, right? So we talked about that. That one was a non-starter. Bloomberg says it does not know the results of the review. Asked about the report, Larry Kudlow, right now, you know my feelings about Larry, said that Trump is not planning to demote Powell at this time, but he didn't deny the report. Kudlow says it's a 6-month-old story. Now, of course, his math ain't so good. February, March, April, May, June. It's 4 months. It's not happening today. Therefore, I have nothing to say about it. It is what it is. That was Larry Kudlow. Let me tell you right now, he's not a very good liar. And you start thinking about what it is that's really at play here. Right? How big is the problem? Right? First of all, I think about debts. Right? We know we're going to run trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, 4 trillion. Having interest rates at 0 or less than 0 is beneficial for the debt. I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to help enough. But this is a battle, right? We're in this trade war with China. I know we're having a meeting, but that's because we called the Chinese. They didn't call us. And we said, hey, come on, please. By the way, just so you know, the anniversary of Tiananmen Square just passed. Mike Pence was supposed to deliver a speech that was going to speak poorly of Chinese human rights. He didn't give that speech. Got canceled all of a sudden. Right? I think we're trying to at least give the illusion that there's some kind of a trade thing going. I don't think there is. I don't think Trump thinks there is. Otherwise, this story wouldn't have leaked. Right? And remember, he wants all the tools in his tool. Talking about the president, Trump wants all the tools. If China devalues, we devalue. If Europe devalues, we devalue. No accident. The report comes out a day before the Fed Reserve meeting, and now you think about the announcement today from Mario Draghi, who said, guess what? Hey, I don't know about what the Federal Reserve's doing. We're going to start cutting rates. We're going to start cutting rates. Most of European bonds now are negative or right near it. Germany and France have gone negative. Britain and Spain are right near negative territory. Get ready. They said that an independent regulatory agency like the Securities and Exchange Commission, and they list all these laws like the Federal Reserve Act, Section 10.2, stipulates that a president can remove a Federal Reserve governor for cause, not at will, just for cause. Patriot Radio News Hour. Get the specials during the break. You're not going to miss. We're going to talk about what he said about Mario Draghi next. Things are continuing to heat up here. 800-951-0592. They were down the last 13 rolls of Silver Eagles at 355. Remember, no calling. I mean, I'm not going to hang up on you, but it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. 355. There's only 13 rolls left of these. These were 2001s. They've been sitting in the first they started at HSBC Bank and that depository. They've been sitting in the Delaware depository now, so for almost not quite 2 decades. I have no idea what they look like. Doesn't even matter. They're $355. You're saving $1 an ounce on Silver Eagles. And then really the deal of the day, by a large margin, the 1 ounce American Gold Eagle. It's a coin we don't sell a lot of because, you know what, we like, hey, we want to buy as close to spot as possible, and that's usually not the Gold Eagle. It is today $14.35. Think about it. Gold's what, almost $13.50? And that's what, $85? And then if you buy 10 or more, you down to $75 over spot for a 1 ounce American Gold Eagle. Just great value. And that's why we're the best. That's why we're better than everybody else. Even if it's a coin I don't sell, I don't, hey, I don't really sell those things. Hey, but you know what? If it's value, yeah, I'm in. I want to give that to my customers. 800-951-0592. Wow, this thing is getting hot now. So early this morning, Mario Draghi, he's the head of the ECB, the European Central Bank. They had their meeting. So they're meeting a day before the Fed releases their meeting. Came out and said that the European Central Bank was going to cut rates, was also thinking about more stimulus, i.e. quantitative easing. German bond yields are now at a new all-time record low. I think the French bond yields are getting ready to fall. So Europe getting ready, all the yields dropping there. The president immediately came out, and I'll just read you what he wrote. Mario Draghi just announced more stimulus to come, which immediately dropped the euro against the dollar, making it unfairly easier for them to compete against the United States. They have been getting away with this for years, along with China and others. Trump now says he's thinking about retaliating against the Eurozone and the move by the European Central Bank. Talks of you-know-what, his favorite thing. Are tariffs coming to Mexico or to Europe? I don't know. All I know is German bond yields now at a new all-time record low. Trump talked about stimulus march to Draghi, very unfair to the United States. And now we're starting to look at, right, here we go, a full-blown, it's really, we call it a trade war. Let's call it what it really is. We got a full-blown currency war, right? And everybody's got the same problem, right? Everybody has the same problem, right? We've got all of this debt. Everybody's drowned in the debt. We can't get inflation. We got to keep lowering rates, right? And it's a race not to the top. It's a race to the bottom. Whatever happened to King Dollar? Right? Where did that nonsense go? They're now saying that Mario Draghi has found time to rebuke President Trump and the accusations made by the president. Draghi now says that the approach to telegraphing policy decisions is insistent that we are not targeting the exchange rate, right? Then what are you targeting? I mean, what's the goal? Why do countries lower rates? The answer is there's only one. It's simple, right? They lower rates to weaken their currency. Now, of course, Draghi says, no, we're doing it for other reasons. Yeah, there's other reasons. And now we're sitting here, and like I said, Draghi just stole Jay Powell's thunder. I think this is why this thing leaked. Trump wants to make sure Jay Powell understands in no certain terms. You better be real dovish tomorrow. And I think this is another reason. I think this is why I think we got a really good shot at seeing new highs in gold and new highs, not all-time highs, but new highs in gold. I think we could see the highest gold price in several years, 3, 4, 5 years before the summer is over. We'll have to wait to see the G20 meeting. Is that just a dog and pony show? If we have, think about this. This is my likely scenario. My likely scenario is the Fed is going to be dovish tomorrow. I really believe that. The data really, it's not great. It's not horrible. It's not great in getting worse, right? It's getting to the point where it's concerning. But now the EU has done what? Put a lot of pressure on, right? I just saw hit the tape. Japanese yields, they're going to go negative. They're saying now by September, the Japanese central bank official policy will be negative. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but let's throw that in the mix, right? So we got the snowball thing is happening. A rate cut environment cycle and the trade talks, nothing more than dog and pony type stuff, could be explosive for the gold and the silver. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. (800-951-0592). Austrian 10-year notes just fell negative, just went negative. So now we're starting to see more countries in Europe. Swedish bond yields just went negative. Polish bond yields, the lowest in over 4 years. So all of Europe now starting to follow suit. German bond yields at new all-time record lows. The last I saw it, it was negative, almost 3.5 tenths. Almost 3.5 tenths negative on German bond yields. French bond yields went to zero and actually briefly were right at negative. Let's just say French bond yields at zero. Austrian bond yields negative. Swedish bond yields negative. Spanish bond yields, I think they're, 4 tenths? 4 tenths, that's it, right? So all of this is gathering momentum. The ECB firing the first shot here, beating the Federal Reserve to the punch, saying, hey, we're looking at rate cuts and stimulus. Rate cuts and bond buying. Get ready. News now breaking that Japan Central Bank, possibly as early as September, will put their Fed's funds rates into negative territory. I think right now they're at zero, something like that, or maybe it may even be negative 1/10, but they're going to go farther into the negative. This has got the president highly upset. The White House, after Barron's broke the story, the White House confirming that, yes, they looked at possibly, they couldn't fire Jay Powell. They looked at demoting Jay Powell. If Larry Kudlow is to be believed, they're not. It's not intimate, right? Hey, we're not talking about that now. We talked about it, but we're not talking about it now. I don't know. But I think the heat is on. I think tomorrow's Federal Reserve meeting is going to be very, very interesting. I'll be shocked if it isn't. But here's the thing: if it's dovish, and I think it will be, that'll be good for gold. If it's not dovish, it might be even better for gold, because I think Wall Street would flip out. I really do. Wall Street's up 300 points right now because they're all happy because Trump and Xi are going to meet at the G20. I've been watching the Chinese papers. They are downplaying this meeting, and nobody actually thinks anything other than, hey, we're going to resume talk. So I think that's probably the best spin we're going to get on it. And like I said, listen, China wants to make a deal. They do. As long as it's good for them, right? The only thing I think they can get China to agree to is China says, hey, we'll help you with the trade deficit by buying more stuff. Outside of that, there's not going to be a deal to be had there. And I think the White House knows it. I think if there was a deal to be had, they wouldn't have leaked the Jay Powell story. I think they need to have the ability. I think, at least in my mind, and again, I don't have any inside information, I think rates are now confirmed we're going to zero because we're going to be fighting this thing a long time. U.S. Gold Eagles, 1435, 10 or more, 1425, a huge savings there. And I know this, we got less than 10 rolls. I think Wendy said 9. 9 rolls of those Silver Eagles, whatever's left there at 355. 800-951-0592.